Hi everyone, Gary here from Discover On with another of my videos for you. Today I wanted to talk to you about abbreviations and contractions, what they do, where they're used and how they are formed. They are actually a very important part of the English language, used day in, day out by native speakers all the time, so it is useful to remember these. So let's crack on with it. An abbreviation is a shortened form of a written word or phrase. They can be used to save space and time or to avoid repetition of long words and the same phrases. But there is more than one type of abbreviation though. First type would be what we would call an acronym, which is a new word that's created from the initial letters of a long name or phrase. For example, like NATO. When we talk about the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, no one really says that anymore. We just say NATO for short. Another type of abbreviation is called an initialism, and this is where a long phrase is abbreviated to its initial letters, but the letters are pronounced individually, not like NATO spoken as a word. For example, a good example of this is the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI as we call it. Country names of course can be abbreviated too. UK, United Kingdom, USA, United States of America, NZ or NZ as the Americans might say for New Zealand, and so on. Let's look just a couple of very common abbreviations for you that we use particularly in British English. ASAP, which means as soon as possible. We tend to write ASAP, well certainly informally anyway, possibly not on a formal basis. DIY is another one which stands for do it yourself. Often used, of course, certainly in the UK and I think possibly in the States as well, in relation to home improvements. There's a lot of stores in the UK, DIY stores. PC, everybody knows that, personal computer. And EG, which in English here, UK English, stands for example. The list is endless, but you get the idea. Let's move on to contractions now. A contraction is a word or phrase that's been shortened by dropping one or more letters. When writing it, an apostrophe takes the place of the missing letters. Again, contractions are something that's very common in speech, in written dialogue, but generally, not exclusively, but generally used on an informal basis. For example, CVs, stuff like this, maybe you wouldn't want to contract, you would want to keep the words to what we call the long form, but certainly on an informal basis, when you're talking, you say these, they just come out and you don't even realize you're doing it. So let's just give you a few examples. Again, the list is endless of contractions, too many to list here, but let's just go through just a couple of the common ones for you. So, can't, which means cannot, couldn't, could not, didn't, did not, don't, do not, haven't, have not, and we use these all the time. He's, which means he is. How's, which is how is, how does, how has. Things like a very common phrase, how's it going? We often say when we greet each other. Aren't, are not. Didn't, did not. I didn't do it, as people say. It wasn't me, I didn't do it. Hadn't, had not. He'd, he had, he would. I'd, I would like an ice cream. I would like a beer. I'd. We say that all the time. I'll, I will. I'll do this, I'll do that. We probably wouldn't say, I will do this, I will do that. Again, only possibly on a formal basis. So that's just a few, just to give you a flavour, but as I said, there are actually probably thousands, I would guess, of contractions in everyday use, and we say them all the time and we don't even realise we're doing it. So to help you be a native, if you want to talk like a native, then please remember these, give them a try. Thanks for watching, I'll see you again next time. Bye.